All right, we are recording Facebook Live tonight. Got a little bit of an extra insight to what happens before shift started, but welcome to our Thursday night shift. We are excited to have you tonight. And guess what? We actually have a guest speaker tonight, and we are very excited about that. So it's going to be a little bit different than what we always do in regards to the fact that we're not going to have a question tonight. We're not going to go through all of us and do all of that because we do have Jilleysue on from Team Amy. And if you don't know what Amy is, hopefully by now you do know, right? Jamie's been doing Amy with Jamie throughout the month, lots of tips and ways to use Amy. We've incorporated into some other posts and things. So hopefully you're getting the idea of what it is. But in case you've been under the rock and you don't know yet, you're going to get the full scoop tonight from Jilleysue. And basically it is the cheapest personal assistant that you could ever buy or ever pay for, right? And so it is in the App Store, AMI, or Sell with Amy. It used to be called Maven for those of you that have been around for a little while. And this is basically a service that connects with our personal website. It's an app on your phone, and it can send you reminders with different templates and different things. You can track samples. You can see when they order it. It will even, what I love most about it is how it pre-fills, because I really want to sound cool and smart, right? Like I know what my customers just ordered, but sometimes that just doesn't stick in my brain. So it will say, it'll automatically pre-fill what they purchased and kind of give them a shout out in that aspect. So there's a lot of really cool, awesome things that Amy does. And so we are very lucky tonight to have Jilleysue come and share with us from the Amy team all about Amy. Before she pops on, I want to say, Jilleysue, thank you for working with us. She had Zoomed, and a couple of our other team members had Zoomed with us in the month of March. We talked about some different things. The superstar directors even had a Zoom, and we left there with like, oh my gosh, there's even so much more capability and ways to dive in, that this is just seriously the coolest app ever. So Jilleysue, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and just tell us what you have to share with us all about Amy.
I'm here, I'm ready, I'm excited to be here. It's good to see so many faces, so many smiling faces. I was really intrigued by the plant warmer holder basket thing. And so I'm really excited to be able to dive in, and I have a loose agenda of things that I want to be able to cover if there's not questions. And part of me is excited to be able to ask the question. I'd love to hear what you want to hear about. The other part of me knows that can get a little dicey and exciting. And so what I want to do is, if you have questions and you're here live, please put them in the chat, because I can see the chat and I'll have that up and running. When I'm going through things, I'm going to be sharing my screen, so you'll be able to see my phone screen, not my actual computer screen, my phone screen. And I'm happy to go ahead and share that and talk through the different segments, especially for people who are fairly new to Amy, or fairly new, never even heard of Maven before Amy. So we want to be able to be here, answer any questions that you have. Jill says, get your phones out and follow along. It's absolutely true. I'm here and ready for you. You're going to have more in your Sell with Amy app than I will have in my demo account. And so for that reason, I also want you to, like I said, pop the questions in the comments as we go. So the first thing is, if you don't already have the Sell with Amy app, we have a specific website, which I know has been shared a lot. And so if you don't already have the Sell with Amy website, app, like she mentioned, go to the App Store or the Play Store and look for Sell, SELL, with Amy, AMI, not AMY. Fun fact, Amy stands for Automated Mobile Intelligence. And so it's intended to be an easy way to get the ball rolling. And so whoever's driving, be safe, please. The reason that we listed it as that is because we want to be able to give each and every person who picks up the Sell with Amy app the opportunity to get the ball rolling with their business, no matter where they're at their business. If they're waiting for their kit to arrive, you can use Amy and get that ball rolling and start generating contacts, getting contacts in Sell with Amy. So that way, when your kit shows up, you can sample things out immediately and start building relationships with your people, and them building relationships with Sense and learning to have Sense as a constant within their home, their car, everywhere, their pets, right? Everywhere, their bodies. And so it's important that you recognize, no matter where you're at on this journey, or whether or not you've ignored your Amy for a while, or if you're jumping in for the first time today, we've got you and you can do this. How do we get started? First, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about Okay, confirmation. Everyone can see my screen? Seeing nods, yay. So first we're gonna start here. This is my SAD dashboard, okay? If you only have 4 to-dos, that's not really something to brag about. That means you're either really cool and getting all your to-dos done, which I'm proud of you for doing, or it means that you're not really up and running. So in this example, this is that demo account that I was mentioning. First thing that when you open the app, you're gonna see this screen. Quick note, that bright yellow bar at the top is not normal, and that's to let you know that Amy will actually be down in the evening of April 29th. We want to make sure that everyone's aware of that, 11 p.m. Pacific to 4 a.m. Pacific, which for some reason I can't do math backwards in terms of that's 7 a.m. The following day. So just want to give everyone a heads up on that. But what this does is this is your to-do screen. This groups your to-dos in terms of what you want to work on. So if you want to grow and support your team, if you want to work with your team, we have a category for that. We have to-dos for that. These are going to be your frontline team members. So what comes through, we list the opportunity. If I were to select this here, you can see this gives you all the ways that you can reach out in this example to Otis. I can reach out to him all these ways. You can always update a default message template. Kelly, you were talking about those message templates. This allows you to sound like you. This is the ability to get the ball rolling, so you're not sitting there stuck with writer's block going, I have no clue what to say to this person at this point in time. Amy delivers to-dos to you that are going to be relevant and timely for your customer based on how long ago they ordered. And if you're staying on top of them, you're making sure to reach out 2 days, 2 weeks, and 2 months after an order. It's also going to encourage you to reach out to your team members 3 times a month, your frontline team members. You can always, if I were to go in, let me cancel this. I'm going to select Otis here. If I were to go in here in this example, my demo account, he should be listed, or he's currently listed as a recruit prospect. So he's actually not a team member. However, I'm being prompted to follow up with him because he is a recruit prospect. So we're going to encourage you to reach out to those who are interested in potentially the opportunity as well. What I was alluding to previously is if they're a team member and they're level 1, they're going to come in and we're going to remind you to reach out to your team member to say, have you set a goal? How are things going? Is there anything I can help you through month end? Again, you can change verbiage, but the goal is to be able to connect with your team, connect with your customers, connect with your recruit prospects to build those relationships. So that way, when their house might smell a little bit funkier, maybe they have wax that's a little too old and needs to be replaced, the first person they think of is you, and not necessarily Cincy as the parent company. You want them coming back to you individually. I'm going to peek at the comments really quickly. You'd love an overview on how to track samples if there's time. Perfect. I actually will go ahead and pop that right here. Customized questions. Are they going to be adding customized questions? I don't know what that question means, but if you can elaborate on that, Jody, that'd be great. So let's talk about samples really quick while we're hanging out here. Actually, I'm going to find another contact. So I quickly at the bottom, you can see I went to contacts. These are all my contacts. Again, demo account, not that many contacts, but that's okay. Let's talk about, let's go into Gizmo here. I'm just going to pop Gizmo open. If you're giving a sample, maybe the scent of the month, for example, you can hit plus. I shouldn't have used scent of the month. And if anyone is smiling, you know it's because it's not in the product catalog. So for my friends that are here, we're going to give a different example, and then we're going to come back to the scent of the month and talk about how we can work with it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and give a sample to Otis. So when you select the plus screen, let's go through our customer profile really quickly. I see that I have Gizmo here. I see that there's no categories. If I wanted to add a category because maybe Gizmo and I chatted and he really likes bakery scents, then I can go ahead and save that. And then I can go back and filter by those friends that are interested in bakery scents. So for example, if something new comes out, it's a bakery scent, I'm going to pull up all my friends with bakery scents and I'm going to reach out and say, have you heard of this? And then when they say, no, I haven't, but that sounds like it's my jam, you're going to say, okay, here's a link. Okay. So that's how you can use the filtering. And I'm talking really fast because I want to be able to address all the questions and I get just really excited about this. Crystal says you didn't even realize you could do that. Yes. Okay. So the bakery scents here, let's go ahead and give a sample. I hit the plus sign at the bottom of this screen. Going back to it again, I can see all the ways I can reach out to Gizmo. And if you have only a phone number and a name, or only an email and a name, you'll only see an email button or a phone button, or call or text. But if you have somebody fill out a contact form, which we'll go into a little bit later, and they fill all the information out, you have all their information here. If you wanted to add something, you can always hit the add in terms of a way to reach out to them. You can always modify and add, for example, Gizmo. In this example, I'm going to hit done and I'm going to save it. So now I also have a Facebook button just added, Facebook Messenger button just added to Gizmo's profile. You can always add or edit someone's contact information. Bottom of the screen, just above the account tab, is a plus sign. When I select that, I have 4 options. I can record an order. So this would be something that's not coming through the workstation. This would be maybe something you have on hand that you've sold and it's already counted through your workstation, but you're selling potentially inventory. That's what you would use to record that order. Record a sample, record a note. All of these are pretty, like recording a note would be recording Gizmo is related to, I can't think of something that would go with Gizmo because it's sort of a standalone name, but you can see Gizmo goes with Janessa, for example. I don't have a Gizmo. Anyway, and then you can create wish lists for individuals. We'll talk about better ways to group products in the future, but if someone says, hey, it's Mother's Day, I want all the Scentsy for Mother's Day, please let's put together a wish list. Let's send it to your kids if they're grown, or let's send it to somebody who will buy you all the things for Mother's Day. In this example, we're talking recording a sample. So we're going to go ahead, bakery scents is where we're at, and we're going to go ahead and add all sorts of delicious things here. So we're going to sample out 3 things. Okay. You can, from here, once you've selected them, this is the same way you would record an order, but in this case, it's a sample. So it gets a different message template that comes up later. You complete it. When you've completed that sample, we can see if we can fool this and give us the, we're going to backdate it. In this example, I'm going to confirm it. And now you can see it's on the timeline. So anything you do with your customers is going to be in this timeline. It shows you their orders. It shows you the samples. It shows you when you reach out from Amy. It shows you really anything. So it'll allow, if you record notes, it shows it in here. This allows you to go back and see if I didn't already select the bakery section, then I can go ahead and look and see what I've given samples of, and I can go, well, clearly this is a bakery fan, right? And so you can add categories if you're going through your contacts. What this does, let's see if it did it, and it may not. So it did, because I backdated it. Now, under normal circumstances, you would do this on regular time. It says capture additional sales and new customers. So in this example, I'm going to open up that category, and it says check in with Gizmo on their recent sample experience. When I do that, it's going to tell me that my message template is really outdated, and that's okay. I can either use it or I can update it. In this example, I'm just going to take a peek. It says, hey, I wanted to check in on your experience so far with, happy to answer any questions and help place an order. I'm going to save that because even though it's 2 years old, it's still good in my book and it's exactly what I want to say. So if I were to go ahead and text this, I'm going to select the text. It's automatically going to add Gizmo, the name, right? It's also going to include the things that I sampled for this particular person. So it's personalized. It's not, I don't have to go in and like type this and remember what they sampled. It's all here and ready to go. If it's a lot of things that they sampled or purchased, it'll say and other items. So that way it's not like just a laundry list and clearly auto-generated. And then, so this is something I would send, go from there. And now on Gizmo, if we were to go back to Gizmo, you can actually see that interaction. I followed up with that sample. So this allows you to see, yes, I gave a sample. It means that I can either encourage Gizmo if they haven't used the samples, or if they're like buried in their purse as a purse, making their purse smell lovely, but not necessarily using them for their intended purpose. I can ask that. I can also encourage them to order now, because oftentimes, how many times have you gotten a sample and it just sits in the bottom of your purse or in the junk drawer or in some other random drawer, or the kids take it and you never get to use it, right? This is ensuring that they're getting that experience, and then you're engaging with them on that experience. And that is something that they will absolutely love to talk about because they'll say, yes, I loved it. Or sometimes you give them the wrong scent and they're like, not for me. I wasn't a fan of that one. And then you can say, okay, what do you like better? You can have conversations. Okay, so that's samples. I'm looking here. I'm not been using Amy like I should. This is awesome. Have it add to your website too. Ooh, okay, so there's things I've missed. There's also a great Facebook. Yes, there is an incredible Facebook group. I'm a little biased, guys, because I'm the head of community. So there's a great Facebook group there ready to go. It's linked here. It's linked in the in this group's Facebook page as well. Yes, we're talking about Amy. I'm trying to look for questions and pop all the questions in there. Sample tracking is awesome with this. And it's incredible because here's my favorite part. If I go to my dashboard, friends, this is your dashboard. If you are stuck or feel like you're stuck, I encourage you to pop to your dashboard. It's in the lower left-hand corner of the phone. When you select that, the best thing is you get this nice screenshot. And if you feel a little stuck in your business, you can look at literally any tile or anything on this screen, and you can set a goal for yourself. In this example, I just did 1 sample. Maybe you want to do 10 samples a week or something. That's a little aggressive, but if you're handing out 10 samples a week and following up with 10 samples a week, what's that going to do to your business? Is it going to change? Is it going to increase your business? Maybe that's a little low for you. Maybe you like to get samples in everyone's hand and you are like, no, 10 isn't enough. I want to do 20 samples a week. And that way I can make sure that everyone's houses and everyone's cars and everyone's everything smells lovely and not like preteens, which is what my house sometimes smells like because I have preteens. So getting the samples out there, you can look at this tile and see how many you've done. It's one of those things that it doesn't lie. So if you want to give the samples, oh, good. Look, we can mark on it. Thanks. Jody's marking for me. So for example, if you wanted to set a goal for samples, you can set a goal for that. Shares is related to sharing products from the product catalog. I promise to come back to the scent of the month because as I mentioned, if you were to sample out scent of the month, one of the challenges is we actually don't get products until they are available to purchase on the website. So if you get your scent of the month sample stuff early, that still is happening, correct? Yes. Okay. So if you're getting your scent of the month samples early and you get those out, you're going to need to actually add that product to the month or to your catalog. So now I've moved to the products tab. We're jumping all over the place, friends, as you can see, but products tab, if you're looking at the bottom of the screen, it says products and it has a magnifying glass there. This is all the products available on the website. It's also showing things that are discontinued in case you have them in your inventory. What I wanted to share here is if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, my product collections, you can actually add products. Ignore my face. I hope it doesn't automatically start playing. So you can actually, that's a collection. I'm sorry. I selected the wrong one. My apologies. Back. My products. That's what I wanted to do. We're going to do collections next. So my products, I'm going to go ahead, upper right-hand corner, we're going to add, and we're going to add it as scent of the month, and we're going to do price is 0 as samples. So the nice thing about this is you don't have to change it every month. You can if you want to. If you want to be able to do, let's see, it's currently April. If you want to be able to have one that says May 2021 scent of the month, you can do that. I am not that cool. I typically would want to keep it super simple and know whenever I sampled out. If I sampled out someone at the end of April, I know it's for May. And so you can use this over and over. This is the simple way. And if you want it to be a little bit more elaborate with the scent itself, you can absolutely update that as well. And then what happens is if I were to go, let's go back into Gizmo, and let's say I also sampled out the scent of the month. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and select that and complete it. And now I'm confirming the sample. And so again, I see on my timeline, April, and I see SOTM. I know it's scent of the month. I gave that sample. And so if she comes back in May and says, I finally used it and I love it, I want it, you can absolutely order it. And if they come back in June and say, I wanted that one, oops, my thumb hit it. She comes back in June looking for the May scent of the month, you can go, oh, I'm so sorry. Would you like to see what we currently have available? So you can have those conversations because you can see it because it's there in the timeline. Okay, so I've been ignoring chat for a little bit. Crystal, I've only been using about 5% of the app. That's what so I want to pause and break for a hot minute. One of the things I want you to know is this app has grown over the last, I've joined the team over 4 years ago, and this app has grown tremendously. And it's grown based on consultant feedback, what we've heard, what do you want, what do you need, how can we help? And so because of that, it just sort of explodes. And every now and then we need to sit down and dive in and do something similar to this. So I'm very happy that you're here tonight and taking the time to learn and to grow. Hi, Keila. Questions from above. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. So is there a way to have that transferred to multiple customers for happy mail purchases of multiple people versus clicking on each one, each individual each time? I love this question. And so just like I mentioned, the app has grown based on feedback. We've heard that feedback, and it's something that I know that the team has in their roadmap. I don't know when that's going to be available. So to answer your question, currently it needs to be done one-on-one, because in an ideal situation, you're doing relationship building one-on-one, and we're really big on that within the app. There's a variety of reasons why we don't do mass bulk things, mass messaging, mass texting, for example. There's some, and I want to address that because I'm willing to bet that there's going to be questions. Why don't you do mass? Why can't I just select all the people and then send the same message? The reason for that is because cell phone carriers have gotten really, really picky and crabby based on these mass messages going out. So there's a variety of services that allow that. Ours is not one of those because we allow you to use your same phone number. If you have someone opting in and using a different phone number, it's because you're opting into a sales message, whereas this is truly intended to be one-on-one relationship building. And in some cases, it slows things down, such as currently selecting all, at this point in time, you do definitely need to do it one at a time. However, if you have VIPs, let's talk about how we can streamline it a little bit. If we have VIPs, I'm in my contact screen. I'm going to go ahead and hit filter. And let's say that I wanted to look at these categories right at the top. I'm going to select that. And maybe my VIPs are the ones that get the happy mail each month, right? So if I were to do that, I can apply. Now, in my sad little demo account, friends, I only have 2 VIPs at this point in time. And that's okay, right? If you have 2, you've got 2. You can grow on that. You can grow your VIPs each and every month. That said, I probably need to actually go through all my contacts and list all the ones that are VIPs. But I can pull those individuals up quickly. And then, for example, I could go ahead and log as record a sample sent to the month, right? So here, and if you do this frequently, you might want to list it as AA sent to the month. So that way it pops up right at the top. Just saying, it's a little hint. And so if you were to do that, additionally, we've had, there we go. So in this example, I could quickly and easily record both of those samples. The other question was, any chance we could get a customizable event form? Can you share where these forms are? Yes, I love this question. And I love that you guys know the app well enough to ask the questions for the things that we don't yet have, and that's okay. And I say that not in jest, but genuinely, because we hear you and our team is working as fast as they can to add a variety of new things. Let me just go ahead and reset these filters so I can see more than just 2 individuals. So question was the contact form. So instead of just diving right into that, I'm going to show the contact form for those who haven't seen it before, in case you haven't seen it. My favorite way to get to the contact form is to go to the account tab. It's in the lower right-hand corner. Do you notice that we hang out in this bottom tray? A little bit below that red line that's there, we hang out in that bottom tray a lot, and we kind of toggle between those. If you ever get lost or aren't sure what to do within the app, just start pushing buttons. You really can't ruin anything. There's not much you can truly break within the app, so I encourage you to play. The account tab is super powerful, and it's sort of, the movie Inside Out, where they have that like control panel in front of them. If you don't know the Pixar movie Inside Out, where it's like controlling the emotions. Anyway, this is like the control panel a little bit. This gives you a lot of really powerful features, and we have it currently here in this account tab. So second down on the left is the contact form. That's what we're talking about here. I'm going to copy it here. And then I'm going to show you can actually share it. So in this example, I could share it with my computer. You can message it. You can copy it as we just did. I'm going to pause here because I forgot you can't. I'm going to stop sharing really quickly so we can all see our faces. And that way, I'm not sure what I was looking up last time on the internet. So I want to make sure to paste and go. There we go. Now I will share the screen again. So, because every now and then, you never know. Okay, so in this example, this is what that contact form looks like. Okay, so the question was, can we modify that? And at this point in time, not at this point in time, but we've heard that there's a strong desire to be able to modify this. And the reason that people want to modify it is because, much like anything else, it's your business. You want to be able to say, I want to add things to it. I want to take things away. Some people feel overwhelmed. As of this moment, right now, this is the contact form. It's intended to be used as sort of a drawing slip. And in parties, people use it drawing slip or prize slip or entry slip or something. It used to be, and I almost want to pause for, I'm going to show all faces that we can see. For our friends that did in-home parties, or our friends that did a lot of parties, or had anybody fill out these forms, raise your hand if you ever had a stack of those slips sitting on your desk that was this big. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have them there for like 3 months or longer? Anyone find some like in a drawer that was like never entered and you were going, oh, look at all that missed business, right? So this, my friends, is why one of the reasons why we have now this contact form. What it does is it allows your customers to fill their information into your Sell with Amy app. This means they're doing the typing, they're doing the entry, they have the ability to get all of this information in there for you. So in this example, I am going to, Jill, I'm going to pick on you and I'm just going to use your name. But now I have to look to make sure I spell it with the right number of C's. Okay. So in this example, they can't, and first off, I can type, I promise. So if they were to try and just put their name in like as an entry, they can't just do it. They have to give you some way to reach out to them. And one of the reasons we have that is because how many of those slips that you had sitting on your desk only had a name and maybe a phone number you couldn't read, right? It's not functional for you if you just have a name so they can get into the drawing without necessarily giving you the information that you're interested in. So in this example, we're going to give Jill her own phone or her own email and then scroll over this. Any information they don't want to fill out beyond a way to be contacted is fine. So if they didn't want to fill this other part out, that's totally fine. That you just need at least one way to reach out to them. So if I were to erase that, it would say, no, you need to give a phone number or an email, phone number, email, or Facebook profile. And so let's say we scroll down to the bottom. Here's my favorite part. This allows your customers to also auto select what they're interested in. Meaning if they're interested in shopping, products I like, hosting a party, or the Scentsy opportunity, right? So you're allowing them, if we do this, and then we can say, hey Jill, right? In this example, or she would say, hey Janessa, but whatever. You can also say, I like sweet food scents. So you can ask them to fill in anything they want in the notes section, maybe a hostess name, maybe something, maybe what scents they like, maybe what area of what area they would like to smell better. So that way you can make appropriate product recommendations. They can fill any of that in. When this is filled out, it says, thanks for your interest and I'll be in touch soon. And then back in the days where we used to pass around a phone, then you could actually submit another entry. Not necessarily as relevant now, but that's okay. So we're going to pop over into the app. What this does is it's going to take me, as I mentioned, right to this to-do screen. So in this example, build relationships with new business connections. Well, that's probably Jill because I filled it out for Jill. In this example, it says, okay, Jill filled it out. She gave her email. You can see all the information they entered here. I love that it automatically categorizes Jill as a recruit prospect and a customer prospect because she checked those two boxes. It's especially exciting when it's a recruit prospect because sometimes the people who will not verbalize that will absolutely check it on this box because they really want to know how to make the money, right? Or how to get free and discounted Scentsy. So in this example, it's saying it also creates this note right here. It says, Jill reached out through your social shop, contact form indicating interest in joining your team and products. Additional comments, I like sweet food scents. If I were to select her, the J and the M here, it's going to take me to her customer profile, and I can actually see that information right here. So if I tap on the note, it's going to expand that, and I can see here, I'm automatically going to go from here. She's already a recruit prospect, but I'm going to include. And Jill, I hope you do like bakery scents. I just made that up. Okay, you do. My husband likes them and I just get hungry. So we have a scent battle up in our house. Anyway, so this is something that I would do. And then I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to say, okay, I saw it. We had this conversation. I don't need to reach out to her per se, but I'm just going to complete it so that way I can know that it's there. Okay, I saw it, it happened, and now she's in my contacts. So if I were to search for Jill, and back to the question, can we change those? At this point in time, not yet. It's something that's on our agenda. I know it's something that's been asked. And I have lost, where is my notes? I have to stop share to get the comments back for some reason. Okay, so answered those. So nod your head if you saw where the contact form is and if you're comfortable getting to it. In the account tab. Yep, good. Okay, excellent. So I'm going to scroll down so you can add your inventory and send invoices for them. So do you have to pay for it to get all those features? Great question. Tiffany, this is from you. So there is a free version of Amy. Now the free version of Amy is fairly limited. It's actually called the starter plan. And the reason that it's the starter plan is because if you're just getting started, you can use the starter plan to help grow your business. Our goal is to get you to grow the business to the point where $7.99 is very logical for you to be able to spend on your business, to be able to get the follow-ups and get all the additional robust features that we have within the app. In order, or on that free starter plan, you get 10 reach outs. So you can connect with 10 customers or like 5 customers twice a month. But the goal is you would be doing less than 10. If you're doing more than 10, it's likely that you're earning, and tell me if I'm wrong, and follow income disclosure statements. I don't think I need to break them out. But if you're doing more than 10 reach outs a month consistently, it's probably fair to guess that you're making at least $100. Does that sound about right? Most people are nodding. Some people may go, but that's the goal. So in order to, for example, if I wanted to invoice customers, that is a pro feature. And we have all of this outlined on our website. So you can check out the difference between the starter and the pro plan there. And I can probably show you that as well in a minute. Actually, let me pull that up really quickly. I'll just pull it up on my phone. And then I will pop back to, sorry. When I type, I can't talk. Am I the only one? Okay. For some reason, when I share my phone now, I lose my chat, and I'm not sure why that is. Guys, I work for a technology company. I should be able to.
When you share your chat or your screen, I lose the chat too, and it kicks over to the side. So I think it's just
a function.
Weird
okay.
thing.
Oh, Zoom. Okay. So in this example, it is better if you view this on a desktop. I'm not going to lie, because I'm looking at this going, wow, this is not what I'm used to seeing. So if we were to view this on the desktop, then you would absolutely be able to, oh, here. Okay. Okay, friends, on our desktop website, I can actually show you here. Thank you for your patience. Sometimes things don't go. Okay, how long does it keep the history? Someone, Moni asked, and I'm like way back. I'm sort of way back. It keeps, we started syncing 2 years prior to 2008 when the partnership began. So we're looking at like 2016 and forward. Yep. If you haven't logged in your app in a while, or if you've not used your app in a while, or if you're on the starter plan and haven't opened the app, then we likely pause on syncing this is something, if someone's been away for a while and then they come back and they're like, nothing's there, right into our support team, or really just once you open your app, it's going to sync that night. Syncing happens in the evening. I was one of the ones who trialed it. It has expanded so much since then. Isn't it crazy, Lynn? Just sort of looking, the VIP category. I can show you that. let me first show, let's talk pricing plans really quickly. Sharing here. Okay, so this is, if we go to the pricings, this is just our website. And then if we look at this, you can actually see Amy Starter and Amy Pro. Ignore the Amy for Leaders. I know that's tempting. I'm sorry. Don't look at it. So what you can see is here, you can see you get functionality for sure on the free plan. And then as you start to do things like feature business links in your personally branded social shop and create collections, which I want to talk about as well, that's when you start to get into the pro plan. Okay. And the pro is intended to be, if you're making some money with this, we want to be able to help you grow. And that's the goal. So that's that. I hope I answered that. I'm going to stop my sharing so I can read comments. And again, that's sad because I had them and then it went away. I wonder if I do this, pop out. I think that'll work. Let me now share my screen. Okay. Yes, I can see. Okay. We have a number of questions here and I'm just going to pop back into the app really quickly. Okay. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Amy for Leaders sounds intriguing. I knew that was going to come up. When you invoice, how do you get the money? Great question. Is there a service fee for paying an invoice like Square charges? Yes and yes. Let's talk about it. So what you first need to do is you need to go into the account tab. This is something, the things that you use often are in big colorful blocks. The things that you will only need to touch like once or twice sort of ever, like set it and forget it, is down under the settings part. So the configure invoices in this example, what you will do, you can set your sales tax. But what you can do is social payments or payments between people using services like PayPal and Venmo. Point of sale is intended, oh, actually, hang on. There's the options, right? So you can actually see your social payment services. If you have Venmo, you have PayPal, you have Cash App, and you have Square, you can fill all of this out. Now with Square, as you know, they charge fees. It's important to know they charge fees because they charge fees in order to do business. And so the fees that you get charged are through Square. They're not necessarily through Sell with Amy, with the exception of your monthly pro fee. And this is a pro feature. So I will demonstrate what this looks like. Let me see if I can I'm going to just fill one in. Okay. We might have one. Additionally, here's how you know. If you fill one in and you're like, I think that's my account, you can always verify the account and see what happens. I don't know there it is. Hey, we do have one. Check it, guys. So in this example, oh, it kicked me back. That's okay. So I'm going to go back into my account and then we're going to go down to configure invoices and then configure accounts and then social payments. And then I will enter Sell with Amy, oh, not Square, PayPal. There we go. Sell with Amy. So in this example, save. When it is linked on the, especially social payment services, the paypal.me is intended to be used as your friends and family account. Okay. The difference is point of sale is PayPal here is when you use the swiper. Does that make sense? PayPal here is different than PayPal Me. So the point of sale services are truly to swipe a card. The social payments are intended to go through the interwebs, as most people are likely using payment terms right now. Venmo is free, as you know. PayPal.me, I don't believe there's pricing on that. They've been making changes towards businesses. Okay. You can use PayPal business account with the social payments. Yes. It's just tricky. And I don't want to get to, what if you don't have any of those? So Nat's saying, what if you don't have any of those? You can send it and then it'll allow your customers, you'd have to collect payment via cash. How are you currently collecting dollars? Nat T, I would love to hear that. Okay, so let me show you what happens once we have these entered. If we were to go, Jill, we're going to record an order. And we're going to do some light bulbs because they're right up top. Sometimes simplicity is key. Now I have the opportunity just to record the order if I had those in my pocket and someone paid me cash and I just dropped it on my doorstep and they picked it up and whatever, then you could just record the order. If you want to use the invoice, which is really cool, guys, it's so cool. You do the checkout. What happens here is it tallies it for you. Okay. Let's say that I wanted to add shipping because Jill does not live in my neighborhood. I can add $5.99. Sound reasonable? Honestly, whatever you would. Yeah, I'm seeing faces, but you could put whatever you want here. Whatever you would typically charge. We want to make sure that you're not giving shipping to your customers for free because it's just not good business sense, right? We want to make sure that we're not dinging ourselves. Anyway, you can also add a global discount if you did like a 10% off for birthdays. Follow all policies and procedures as always. Anyone in EST looked at the time on the screen and think, what the heck? Yeah, sorry, friends, I'm in California. Just to confuse everyone, we still have sunlight out there. It's actually lovely. Sorry, that was mean. Didn't mean to tease. Okay, so in this example, I updated, we have shipping, everything is good. So now I'm not necessarily going to give, $6 in bulbs. I'm still shipping them, whatever. So in this example, I can email a copy to Jill. I can copy it. We can just copy that and then, or I can mark it as paid. So again, if they paid cash, we could do that. Let me go here, paste and go. So now we can look at what Jill would receive. Okay. Shopping with, and then it includes your name. It says any questions, please contact me. That's your email address. It'll encourage them to email you. It says, thanks for supporting my business. So this is a great way for your customer not to have to go, wait, do I owe $6.99 or $5.99? Do I owe $17? What's your Venmo? What's your PayPal? How do you do this? Anybody else had that back and forth over and over? Like it takes forever to collect the money. Just give me the money. So what you can do is this allows them to see exactly what they're paying for. It allows them to see what the sales tax is, everything. And then they have the ability to go ahead and select whichever payment method they choose. This is if you have the product on hand, yes. Or if you were, oh man, there's things that I'm hesitant to dive into. So everybody runs their business according to policies and procedures, as long as everyone understands that I'm not encouraging you to go against policies and procedures, because of course that's not what I'm doing. But I'm also going to allude to things that I know that happen. Maybe you pre-sale something. If you pre-sale something, you need to collect the money up front, because what happens is if you trust somebody and then all of a sudden you end up with, let's just talk like the child. If you end up with more of and I know the child had like the $10 situation and whatever, but if you end up buying things for people and they don't actually pay you for it, it's going to hurt financially. And so you could use this as if you were to be invoicing people for something they're pre-selling. Okay, I thought that was a question. No. Okay, so in this example, let's say that Jill wanted to pay via PayPal. It's going to pop open and it's going to it'll actually go ahead and pop this ready to go. Okay, and so you can send the money right then and there. Typically it enters the price. I think for Venmo, it actually enters the price as well. Yep, it says it right there. So, go ahead. So that way they don't have to go, you don't have to have this back and forth. It also allows your customers to pay you in the way that's easiest for them. Okay, so let's pop back to the app. I'm seeing lots of, oh my heavens, love. Jill would have received this through her email or text message. Because with Jill, let's go back to Jill. Let's go to her profile. In this example, I only have her email because that's all that was filled out in the contact form. So in this example, I could go to, where did it go? Invoice sent. So you can, oh, sorry. To get to your invoices, you go to your dashboard. My two favorite spots in the app, dashboard and account tab. So from here, you can, where did it go? Oh, you select orders. Sorry, it's been a while, friends. Select orders and then orders with invoices. In this example, this one's open, so I can open it. I can view the invoice and then I can email it to her. When it's saying make sure that you have the default, this is just standard beginning. So in this example, you can actually see, hey, this is what it would have emailed to her. You can also text message if you have their phone number in Sell with Amy. I don't have Jill's phone number in Sell with Amy because I made up her email. So in this example, I could, let's say that she paid it. Okay. So with Square, I believe it updates this. I believe. Things change all the time, friends. And then let's say it's Venmo or something. I can just mark as paid and then I can say how, and then there's confetti confetti and it's exciting. And you can actually send this paid invoice over to, I could send it to her by emailing it to her, for example. Again, same thing here. Thank you for your payment. There we go. So I hope that answers your question. And Carrie's asking, in Canada, a lot of our customers, and I'm smiling because I know this, a lot of our customers pay via e-transfer email. Is there an option to put it on the invoice? We would just include how to pay as in the email we send them. I hear you and I've heard this. And so the invoice does have your email on there small as well, I believe, but the invoice, because I know Canada uses the direct transfer with email and it's not set up as well as it could be for that. And we recognize that, the team's aware of it. Can we place orders through Amy? Great question, Abigail. The answer is no. You actually, anytime you click on anything, if we were to collect, I'm going to dive in and I don't recall. Okay, so let's say that we dive into here. If we share it, copy link. Okay, let's go back, paste and go. So in this example, anything that comes out of Sell with Amy actually will go right to your website. Okay, it's not going to go through Amy. Nothing goes through Amy. Everything points to Scentsy. So no, you cannot place orders through Amy. You would need to log orders. No, you don't even need to log orders because it all comes from your workstation. Hey, Callie, thank you for that. That is a good thing. Let me show you where you can find that in the app. So she shared our help portal. Our help portal, I'm slightly biased, but I think it's great. It's an incredible resource if you get stuck. You can go to help.sellwithamy.com, or if you go into your account tab, again, my favorite, down at the bottom, the resource hub, there is the help portal. If we select this, it takes you right to where she was sharing. You can type anything like invoice. You have to be able to type. There we go. Voice. Collecting payments through social payments. So for example, there's a ton of articles on that. You can type anything you want in here and it'll pull up training and articles, and it'll have, almost all of them have, for example, a video and some verbiage. So that way, if you're a visual learner or an auditory learner, you have the video. If you are a visual learner in terms of just give me the steps and let me run with it, you can absolutely go here as well. Let's say you had someone tell me today, I'd like 6 bars and I'm going to place an order, but I want to go to do an invoice like this to collect her payment. On Amy, would it show her order twice? Okay. Yes. So she's saying, it says on Amy, would it show the order twice, once with an invoice and once when you put it through the workstation? The answer is yes, because you're placing it in the workstation. But what you can actually do is, I feel like there was something with this and I actually want to check with Meg. So let me circle back because I think there's a way to merge those two, but maybe I'm wrong. I just need to get some information. It's been a while since I've dealt with that particular one. Totally fine for the curveball. I'll take it. You had no clue Amy did any of this. This is going to be a game changer for you. Yay, that's exciting. And I'm just totally like scrolling through wishful thinking. Is there a way to get product links to link to a party? Leanne, great question. That is not feasible right now. And that's primarily because the information that we get from Scentsy is not able to be linked to a party. So what you're going to want to do is when you share, and the one thing I wanted to make sure to share, and I'm looking at my time and it's ticking right by, I want to be able to share collections. So for example, in a party, I presume you introduce products in the form of groupings of products. Is that fair? That makes sense? Meaning like, let's talk about warmers. Let's talk about scents. Let's talk about what you can get in different scents. Is that ideal? Yes. Okay. So what I want to share, I started to open this. This is the collections. What you can do is if you introduce products in a grouping, whether it be in an in-person party or an online party or whatever, you can actually create a collection. And if we wanted to do, we're going to stick with bakery just because now I'm hungry. So in this example, scents, anyway, okay. So you can also include a header. I don't have a photo ready to go for this, but you can include a header to make it look pretty. And I strongly recommend you use maybe a picture of maybe a stack of yummy scents, like bars would be cool. In this example, we can go ahead and do apple. And I do apple just because I know all of these are going to be that, like bakery scents. You can just literally roll down this line and add all of these. And the intent is not necessarily to overwhelm people, but instead to allow people, those groups, an easy way to shop through those groups. Now, this will require you to say, make sure at checkout you select your hostess. Make sure at checkout you select this party. You want to make sure to give that information because you don't want anyone checking out outside the party, right? But it allows you to have one spot that's not as overwhelming as every single product that Scentsy offers when they know they just like the bakery scents. So you can do that, or you can do a collection of fragrance flowers. You can do a collection for the car. You can do a collection for your pets. You can do a collection for laundry. You can do a collection for counter clean. You can have the ability, even though they can shop that way on the website, sometimes it's a little overwhelming. So if you do this, when you go save, then you have the ability to view it. The nice thing is you can share this link. If you don't include a photo, by the way, the top is purple, Scentsy purple. If you include a photo, that'll actually be there instead of whatnot. And ideally you would use a much more descriptive description than delicious scents, but we are here. The point is this makes it really easy for your customers to shop, especially people who are new to Scentsy and don't necessarily know their way around, or someone who's returning and is like, I know I want something, I don't know what it is, for example. So that's collections. And if you get lost or are curious and want to know more about collections, you can go to the resource hub and you can go to the help portal and you can type in collections. There we go. And you will get a video along with steps. Okay. So lots of questions. Let's see. You've been using Asana and it's way more work. Oh, we used Asana previously for our team, and it is a lot of work and we don't actually use it anymore. Export import contacts question.
Janessa, I'm just going to come on and ask you really quick.
Yeah.
So I have a ton of contacts in my, in Amy that don't have an email or a phone number associated. And so I wanted to clean them up. So I exported the CSV file, sorted by no contact information, deleted them out. When I re-upload that, will associated information with those contacts will that mess anything up? Or can I re-import? Because I know there's an option to upload contacts, but I don't know if I exported, but now I'm afraid to upload.
Right. So this is one of those situations where I'm sorry, my dog is loud. And so he has now joined the party. There he is. Because otherwise he'll just sit there and snore at me. So first, what I want to share with you is at the bottom, and this is not, Melissa, you did a ton of work that I don't want to say you didn't have to do, but you didn't have to do it. That said, when you delete, technically it doesn't actually delete, okay? It does for you. You don't see it, but we at Sell with Amy recognize maybe that contact it just holds it there primarily because if you came and said, I don't want those contacts here, I'm going to delete them, we make them go away for you. But if you import a CSV again, and those contacts are on that CSV, it should match them up and go, okay, they're gone. Does that make sense? Like, do not expose them. If you want them exposed or all of a sudden someone's purchased again, then you might need to write into our support team. That said, what I want to highlight on this is when I went to filter on my contacts, down at the very bottom is show contacts missing all contact information. So if I were to apply that, I can see in my demo account with only 28 people, of course, no one's there. Typically, these contacts come from within your phone. If they don't have like a phone number, it's just their name. Or previously, I think at one point in time, you did not need to add contact information to the order, and that's probably where they came from. But I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. And I knew that setting was there, but I just figured I would flush them because a lot of it was like dummy accounts or test accounts or things like that. So thank you.
Absolutely. You can also, for people who don't know this, you can also merge accounts. So I remember at one point in time, I don't remember what happened. Anybody like mistype their name and have their customers mistype their name, and all of a sudden you have like 3 of the same person. Janessa can be spelled a lot of different ways. And I had, so you can actually merge them. So what you can do is you can say this one and this one and this one, they all belong together. It's all the same person. So you can merge within Sell with Amy as well. If you have some of those situations, you want to make sure that all the orders are under the right person, even if they might have mistyped their name. Cool. Let's see. Additionally, I'm seeing a lot of things. I think I might be caught up. Cool. Which is good because we have 4 minutes left. I want to stress that, so I know that within that Facebook group is there, and it's a great spot for questions, but if there's one thing I really want to encourage you to do is if there's anything that's weird or specific to your account. So for example, saying, how would I go ahead and, or how are you sharing contact form within your VIP group is like a general question that everyone can learn from. If it's something specific to you that you're like, I don't know if this is how it's supposed to work because it seems weird and I would, maybe it's just me, please feel free to write to our support team. I'm back in the account tab on the screen. You can always contact support. They are real people. They're really great too. If anyone's written into support, they're really, really great. Marlene, I'll show you that in just a minute. So our support team is awesome and they're real people. They do take some time to get back to you. Not crazy. I think the wait time isn't too crazy for customer services in general, but they're real people and they're there to help you. So if you have a question, you can always email our support team. They're happy to help. They love it sounds strange. They love hearing from people. And so please utilize that anytime you have questions or anytime you have questions, or if there's something that you're like, I would love to be able to select all of these and send all this into the month out, or have a group of people or whatever you may have a request, our support team is there for you. So to be able to set a contact filter, I'm going to reset the filters here. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to add a new category. So Aubrey, as you can see here, if I hit plus, I can scroll down and I can see these custom labels down at the bottom. Everyone see that? Let's say we wanted a fruit or fruity category. Okay. I'm just going to type that in and hit return. When I hit it, it's automatically going to select Aubrey for fruity. I'm also going to list her as a customer prospect while I'm here. And now she's listed as a customer prospect with the fruity category. Okay. You can make a category for anything. You can make a category for Christmas shopper. If somebody only shops during that season, you can absolutely bring that up. That way you can filter it. Yes, the Facebook group it's everywhere. It is facebook.com. I believe it's Scentsy Powered by Amy. If you search for Scentsy Powered by Amy on Facebook, you will find us. Absolutely. Yay, Abigail. When you make a custom label, it will show up as a mass option for each person. Yes. Or will it have to type it in each time? Nope, absolutely. So if I were to go through, let's say I wanted to go ahead and list all my fruity fans. I can just hit the plus and it's there for me. We have people with like hundreds of labels. Make labels that make sense to you, but you can go through and you can just add as many labels as you'd like. So maybe this is, you can click as many as you want. Once you add it once, it's there forever. And have a category for Disney lovers. Absolutely, for sure. You can do based on what people buy. If people stick to pet stuff, like this guy needs a bath, then you can absolutely create a pet or dog category. You can create a category for really anything you want. We've heard people say they have a category for each hostess. If you have a lot of parties, that might be overkill, but you can put the hostess name in the comments. So when that person decides to host again or join, you can actually search for notes. Let me show you that, although I don't have a lot of notes in this particular account. We didn't touch on this, but I want to do it really quickly. If I were to select notes and I were to search for dog, okay, no one's going to show up because I know I haven't used that in the notes section. But for example, if Jill was a hostess, I could go through and list like all the 10 to 15 people that attended her party. And then I could search for Jill in the notes and then it would pull up those customers as well. Akila has labels for those that unsubscribe from your emails that are my Scent Crate subscribers. Yes, you can also on the filters, there is a category. If someone says, I don't want to hear from you, and you can cry a little bit, it's okay. We understand. If someone's like, I just don't want to hear from you, you can actually mark them as uninterested. And the reason for that is that way you're compliant, you're not reaching out to them. Amy will not generate to-dos from those individuals, just so you know. Yep, everyone's got them, Elizabeth. She said she had one of those. How do you put their customers from their party on the host thing again? Let me do that really quickly. Let's go back here. So let's say that Jill was the hostess and we're just gonna say Aubrey. All you would do is you would add them as a note. So record a note, Jill, hostess. Okay, done. Save without a follow-up. I don't need to follow up on that. You can do a note and then follow up on notes. An example of that is if you know someone's going on vacation or is their anniversary is coming up, you can record a note and then follow up on it. So I'm just going to add this to the notes section. Okay. Save without a follow-up, and we'll do one more. Good old Gizmo. Let's bring Gizmo back. Oh, I didn't actually add it. There it is. Jill. And so after a party, you would go ahead and do this for those customers, right? Or ask them, better yet, ask them to enter in the notes section, Jill is my hostess. As long as they've got a name that you can sort by. Now, if you have multiple hostesses named Jill, then you're going to need to figure out how to do that a little bit better. But in this example, if I were to filter and I would look at notes and then I would search for Jill, I can see I have 4 contacts. Okay. And so I'm going to apply there and I'm actually getting Jill herself, right? But I'm also getting these other 3 contacts because they were a party guest. This is so much more than follow-up. And that's the thing, that's what we're known for, but we absolutely, we just keep bringing more to the table, and it's because of suggestions from those that write in support, and we really appreciate that. All right, friends, I am going to boogie because believe it or not, my kids are out there playing softball. Like there's a game tonight. So I'm going to go see if I can catch my kid while she pitches. Fingers crossed she doesn't hit anyone. So thank you so much for your time. I'm really happy to be here. If you have additional questions, you can find me on that Sell with Amy Scentsy. Sorry, it's Scentsy #powered-by-Amy group. I'm happy to answer additional questions there. I might even, or I'm in the group as well. So tag me. I will make sure that your questions get answered. And especially anybody else that wasn't able to attend tonight, I am happy to be able to dive in. Make sure.
Yes, I want to just say real quickly, Janessa, thank you so very much. We know this is time out of your day. Yes, definitely go spend time with your kids because that's what it's also about. But thank you. As you can tell from the chat, this has been overly helpful. And the best thing that you guys can do for Amy is to share this with your teams as well, so that because this is something that they definitely don't have to do. This is just out of the kindness of their heart that they come and share and help us and expand and do all the great things for our business. So we appreciate you. Thank you very, very much. And we can't wait to see what you guys do and succeed with your newfound personal assistant. So have a good night, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.